Good morning, guys. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Let me just open up my computer here. All right, and got to start everything up. How's everybody doing? Somebody give me a sound check. Let me know if you hear me okay. All right, market really popping up off on the open here. Let me see. I have sorry, my computer is just trying to catch up here. Hey, good morning, Miguel. How's everybody doing? All right. So I did a couple of updates. If you guys go to the fade indicator, which where's the link? Where's that link? I think it's T. What is my link? Hang on just one second, guys. I got to figure out what link this is. Systems administration, customize speaker. Hang on a second. Let me just see something. Slack bot. What is this? Oh man, it's so slow. Hang on. Man, everything is so slow today. Private TV. Okay. So it's under, let's go back to here. Private TV, question mark. All right, the fade this indicator. I just put it in the room. This has been updated. You guys should attach it. It was actually improperly constructed before, and now it's been properly updated, and it's very, very useful for us. I've been trading it all morning long, actually, in the following manner. So obviously we are hyper positive, right? We are total trend positive on the 1 hour chart, above greens. You know, it means every single dip and every single buy dip, just completely all long. I'm just, you know, I am long on all of this stuff. So let me just show you what the configuration is. Long only on the trend. I just want only long signals. And generally, honestly, I'm not even taking the trend signals. I'm just taking, you know, the fade, which I call dip now, to make it a little easier. The turn. I'm just taking every single. If I took every single buy indicator, I mean, you could have taken the trend. The trend would have worked also. But I took just every single buy indicator on dip and turn, and all of them were super successful, because we are very strong to the upside, right? It's the perfect day today for a lot of really good trades. I don't know if we're going to be able to last it through the New York Open, and obviously, you know, we're just we don't have any signals. And I'm really going to try not to. I know it's tempting for me just to do trades for trade's sake. I'm really trying not to take trades for trade's sake at this point. So let's just see what, if anything, can set up for us on the move here. You can see, you know, that, for example, on the 1 hour chart, we have divergence. The 1 hour chart in the Dow is nowhere near as positive as it is in NASDAQ. So, you know, you don't have a strong trend trade there to the upside as you do with the other signals. But you know, you can still trade the turn and the dip. Whenever, here's a very key rule that I use is, if I have any kind of doubt on the bias time frame, right? If the bias time frame is giving me any kind of doubt, in this case, obviously it's giving me doubt because it's red, even though it's positive, right? I don't trade the trend signal at all. The only signal I want to trade then is the dip, and even the dip isn't that great. Honestly, if I have a, I mean, I only want to trade, I guess, the dip when I'm above. But the only signal that matters in this particular situation, let me just get rid of it and I'll show it to you. Let's get rid of the fade and this. The only signal when I have divergence is the turn signal, and even the turn is kind of weak, right? 65. I mean, you make money here, you make money here. You fail money here, you make money here, right? So one of the better things about kind of the structure is that if there's any kind of tension between what the bias time frame is showing and what, you know, and where you are, basically, if there's any kind of tension on the bias side, sometimes the best thing is just to simply stand down and not even trade anything. So if we were to take a look at, for example, the DAX on the 1 hour, okay, DAX is also showing conflict, right? It's red. It's showing that the trend, that the strong hourly trend has now turned negative. So again, you don't love this trade as much as when it's pure, as much as it was pure green. And the only thing you want to trade on this trade is even the turn buys aren't working that well. You know, this fails, this fails, this one is okay, and this one is okay. So, you know, it's amazing how your efficiency ratio goes down from, like, you know, 75 to 80 to barely like, you know, 55 to 60 when you start seeing the you know, the failure of the conflict on a longer term time frame, which is, you know, a good indicator. I'm going to put the fade on here just to see, you know, and if I want to do long only again, because I'm long-term bias, right? Even the fade is not that great. You know, you're buying it here, not great. I mean, none of it really works today. The Dow today is a weak signal because there's a lot of conflict on the longer term charts, and you know, you sort of just really want to. The only time you want to take these signals is if on the shorter term charts it goes above the 200 SMA. Basically, the rule of thumb is anything underneath here is just a waste of our time to the long side. Even if on the longer term charts, you know, it's showing a conflict, it's showing a upward trend because the trend itself turned negative, right? So the best trades are the ones where we have to wait for all the timelines and all the signals to configure, right? And as a matter of fact, you know, everything that's showing up right now is all kind of showing up negative, right? We could, even if we wanted to, try to trade both sides, just, you know, for scalping purposes. Let me just sorry, let me just add this up. So what I want to do is I'm trying to do long and short. Okay, so I know it's a little bit busy on the chart, and maybe the easiest thing to do is for me to just get rid of. Let's imagine. So here's the thing: we have a conflict in the long-term charts. The Dow is actually short-term sell, right? So if we have a conflict and the Dow is short-term sell, yeah, maybe what we can do is, if we wanted to kind of press our luck, we want to just look at only short-term signals. And we want to go, let's say, short only on this. And want to go turn to trade short only on this, right? And so as long as we are underneath the 200, we're just going to take the short signals, which actually would have worked okay, except for this one. This one would have tipped you, right? But you just trade only this particular side, and even like, you know, even above the 200 SMA, none of this stuff really was bad. You could have, you know, you could have basically traded to the short side because the 1 hour time frame is not positive. It's above the moving average, but it's not positive. So it's not really giving you any great, you know, great trading capabilities. And like right now, you know, if I wanted to chase trades, right, I would chase this right now a little bit because it looks like momentum is to the downside on the Dow. Dow, you know, opened up, can't even hold the open. I mean, you know, again, bullshit trade. I'm just putzing around. But you know, kind of just to show you that the dominant signals in the Dow so far have been to the downside. So I'm just trying, you know, I'm just trading with dominant signals. Not that they're really legitimate signals for us, but you know, let's see if this works. Where am I? 46. Should be 46. There we go. So, you know, first trade of the day done only because, you know, I'm just seeing, you know, the flows in this thing to the downside. And it remains underneath the 200 on the short side, and you know, it definitely doesn't look good on the. You can't get it. Why can't you get it? What does that mean? Can you click that link? In order to get it, you have to. Yes, we are in Zoom. From here, you mean? What do you mean? Oh, it's not. You're supposed to. Okay, let me show you how to install this. Okay. All right, let's do this again. So I'm gonna show everybody how to do this. I thought you guys knew this. Okay, let me copy link. Okay, so I'm gonna go. Okay, here's the indicator, right? So you pull up there. Everybody should be on the BK fade move chart. You guys seeing it? Okay, everybody's on there. Okay, so then we go over here, and you probably already have it in your favorites, but you can say remove from favorite indicators, just to say, and then you can say add to favorite indicators, just again to go back there. Then you go to over here, and you go over here, and you got to, and I'm gonna just delete this thing out, and you gotta sign yourself out. Then you gotta sign yourself in. Then, very important, you have to refresh the page. You have to hit refresh. Hit refresh. If you don't hit refresh, you're not going to be able to get it. Then once you hit refresh, and you got to make sure you hit refresh. You go to indicators. You go to favorites, and you go to fade move, and it should say fade dip max filter. Okay. Let me know if all that works for you guys. I don't even know. I have zero vibe. I'm long NASDAQ right now, just again for scalping, just because NASDAQ is certainly positive bid. It looks like a really positive bid actually. So if you guys follow me, you definitely could have made some quick clips. But I'm just basically trading to strength in NASDAQ, trading to weakness in the Dow without any real signals, because all the signals happened earlier today. You know, like just before. So we don't have any signals during the session right now. But You know, I'm just trying to. It's a really, really strong break. It looks like it's going to take out 900. I'm going to just see. I'm just going to buy this power move. Let's see if it goes. Get another 5 points out of this thing. They're running through the 900. I think usually when they run the round number, they tend to barrel through it. So let's see if they can barrel through this on the 902 level. Maybe, maybe not. We'll see. There we go. There we go. There we go. Come on. There we go. Boom. Another. I'm just scalping, guys. I'm just scalping really to strength. Nasdaq is super strong, so we don't have any setups, but it's obvious that that it's working. If you guys caught that, that was pretty good. We got 10 points in the Nasdaq, 5 points in the Dow to the weak side. Really nothing in DAX because I can't just get a vibe on a DAX right now. I'm not really trading the S&P, but we can take a look at the S&P. Let's take a look at the S&P actually, just as an interesting idea, because the S&P on the 1 hour is positive, right? So actually, I haven't even looked at S&P because I've just been focusing on Nasdaq. But S&P has certainly been you got to turn buy. All the buy signals in the S&P are all 100% legitimate. You could totally buy. Now the Dow just gave us a buy signal, right? Turn buy signal, and we could try and trade that. Again, we have very little faith in the Dow at this point, but we could try and trade that move right here because it slipped against us. So maybe we can make 5 points here. I just went that long the Dow, so yeah, we did. Only because everything else is rallied. Dow is the weakest, and it did finally give us a buy signal, and it is on a longer term charts buy, although the actual index is very weak. So very small buy, but worth a shot. Take a pop on the thing. But look how quickly it blew up to the downside. It was only good for that 5 points, and that was it. And we have a quick reversal and everything else right now. So if we're looking at the indices, the two strongest trades is Nasdaq and the S&P. Let's see what an S&P is doing. We could try the S&P here, but just for 1 point. See if I could get it for 1 point here. It's a big move, really big move here. So I don't know. I probably bought it too high because I was chasing. The true move should have been somewhere around here. I'm trying to see if it can expand. We'll see. We'll give it a shot if it pops. It's definitely a very late trade, but not much. But the much more important point is that now that you have the indicators, right, and you can see, yeah, I mean, I bought the top. It was obvious that was a chase trade. It was completely unnecessary to trade this. So that was obviously a loser trade. Big reversal too. Wow, look at this. They tested the tops. Big reversal. This actually suggests, interesting. I'm just watching this. Let's see if this pops through the green cloud again to the upside, or whether this has just been a tap to the highs. Looks like, wow, the S&P really turned hard. I think the S&P is a sell just on a momentum move here. Let's sell it. It's a big reversal in the S&P. Okay, that was good. Yeah, you could just tell that, they turned the flows completely the other way around. There was actually 2 or 3 points in the S&P if you followed me a little bit in there. So market kind of got exhausted. We traded the long side, and now the market got really, really exhausted. So what do we do now? So now we know that long-term S&P is a buy, Nasdaq is a buy. This is a profit taking. We know that the Dow is the weakest one of all on a longer-term bias charts. So if we're going to look for any kind of genuine buy signals, now so Nasdaq turns negative now, right? And it's actually interesting. So we might be able to get a dip buy signal here in the Nasdaq. But we need a red zone for it to come in. So it's still in the green zone. Gonna be patient on the move here. So we're turning red. We're probably going to get a dip buy signal on Nasdaq, and if there's an index that has a buy side bias, it's certainly Nasdaq. So we're going to see if we can try and trade that. Okay, let's watch this a little bit more. So just turning red. So we need 2 or 3 candles to the downside for us to get a dip buy signal. Sorry, let me go to Nasdaq. So I hope to see everybody in the masterclass, because I have the EA for all of this now for MT4 and MT5 with all the latest versions of the indicators, everything else properly. Plus, I have like a special interesting free gift for everybody. There's also an EA. So I hope to see everybody who's lifetime, obviously, is going to get the invitation. I'm going to be sending it out probably either later today or tomorrow. And those of you who are not lifetime, please upgrade, because if you're hanging out with me in the room, you should all be lifetime. And if if you don't want to be lifetime, just then at least sign up for the masterclass. Let me know if you if you haven't signed up and you want to do it. I'll be happy to to give you a discount. So we're kind of putzing around here. No dip buying yet. It was 45s was the short-term support. It looks like the market sort of staged early morning rally, and now it's kind of getting hammered to the downside. And it could be a reversal day where you certainly don't want to get caught buying dips the whole day long. So just be aware. I'm just a little bit wary of the market. Remember, the perfect trades for us is where everything lines up, where the 1 minute is all above the trend, the hourly is all above the trend, everything is green, and we're just buying dips all day long. Like in that position, you almost can't lose. Now, when it becomes problematic, when you get divergences, when you get complexities in what the price action is telling you, your chance of success becomes lower, and you need to be constantly wary of assuming risk that that you may not need to take, right? So far, the first dip buy that happens, I'm still going to be a buyer because we still have a dominant trade. I'm actually looking at I wonder what the S&P is looking at. Like S&P is showing us a sell signal, which is not we're not going to fade the we're not going to trade the S&P sell signal because the S&P is actually net positive for the day. It's I'm actually, you know what I'm going to do? Is my S&P. I'm going to play with this. I'm a little late. I should have, one of my kind of perverse trades that I like to do is, if I know that I'm net positive on the long side and I get a sell signal, it's actually a great fade. In other words, the sell signal on this candle over here, this was the sell signal candle, was a buy. I'm a little bit late on the entry. I would have been like, fully in the trade. I'm gonna have to probably just have to go to half point just to see if I have a chance to make it. I was just late on the entry, but the idea is you kind of trade. You take that signal as a reverse. Um, um, but you basically just sort of take it as a as a strong buy signal. But it may, in this case, I'm obviously I'm late. I executed poorly. May not have been a good perfect trade. The signal actually was over here. I should have been buying over here, which would have already made me. There's like two components to the trade. There is the trade itself, idea, and then there's the execution. And when I'm late on execution, which a lot of times I am because I'm looking at a lot of different things when I'm trading live, the execution corrupts the trade idea, right? It's not enough just to have a good trade idea. You have to have the right execution. And here we go. Maybe I can make the half. Maybe I can make the half. Come on. I need what? 75? Wow, no, I can't even get 75. No. Okay, what was the signal? Oh, buy. Okay, I meant buy. Oh, okay. Let's do NASDAQ. Okay, so NASDAQ actually broke through the red cloud. NASDAQ is the strongest buy instrument we have. So we bought the NASDAQ, and that hopefully goes to +5. Where are we? What do we need? 31.75? No, we need 76.50. I'm looking at the wrong places. Let's see if NASDAQ works for us. So this was a turn buy in NASDAQ. And wow. We'll see if that works. I need 76s. There we go. There we go. There we go. So NASDAQ got done. So NASDAQ got done. The S&P, I'm still putzing around because it was bad execution. I'm chasing it, but I'm kind of, I'm just out of morbid curiosity trying to hold on to it. But then the NASDAQ was the right execution, the right trade. Did you guys trade it? Good job, Miguel. Good job. Yeah, I mean, the signal worked, but again, it's a wobbly signal now. I mean, like we need to, we had the big sell-off, big correction. Now the buyer's trying to come back. Looks like the buyers are winning. Oh, and did I get done on my Yeah, I got done on. Look at this. I held on, and the S&P actually worked on the thing because again, the big flows are positive, and we're just we want to stay on the big side. what do we have here? Like 6 or 7 trades today. Let's just look at this. This is kind of interesting. Um, let's go on custom period today. Let me just find this. Yeah, okay, today. And let's just look. I just want to show you because the whole point is it's not, it's just the accuracy of the trades. And forget the YM, right? Let's just look at NASDAQ. NASDAQs were all buys. Buy, buy, buy. There's 3 buys, right? Was there a buy? Yeah, 3 buys. No, 4 buys. I'm sorry. Why is this? Yeah. Well, okay, sorry. This is the YMs. Here's the NASDAQ. It starts. So I go, but that's the Dow. 1, 2, 3. There was 3 buys in NASDAQ. Every one of them winners plus 15 points and very, very solid. The next the next interesting one was the S&P. This S&P, the first S&P, the stop out was really ridiculous. The second one was okay. I could have done more S&P, so that was the third one. So overall, I mean, that was just a bad execution on the S&P as far as that goes. And then I'm just putzing around with the Dow, which is the least what's the word I'm looking for? Significant or the most ambiguous of all, right? The least clear of all. So if you simply stuck to NASDAQ and just the buy signals on the NASDAQ anytime you could, you're doing great. And it's just a good example of where the proper bias just works really, really well. And I on my other account here, I had like buys on the NASDAQ all the way through. You had literally 7 or 8 consecutive winners in NASDAQ because 3 things are happening. It's positive on the long side, it's green on the long bias, and it's completely positive on the short bias. And all you're doing is just buying dips all the time, right? And all those things work really well. Like it's not complicated when you strip it down to its core essence. And even like, oh, look at this, even the Dow started to pop to the upside. After that, after we had that big flush, it came back up. And maybe the Dow now is going to stabilize above the short term. Here's trend buy in the Dow signal. And we might as well play this again. The least ambiguous, least confident trade here, but maybe worth a shot. Let's give it a shot here. We've got 42 seconds. We'll let it play. Climbing down with a trend south, but we're gonna take this buy signal. Okay, we'll take it at 79. Let's see if we have any chance here. What else came up? Oh, because it was trend buy on the Dow. Yeah, that's what it was. It was the trend buy on this. Okay, let's see if this plays out for us. But remember, the Dow is just, we have the least confidence in that Dow, so we got to see if it can hold this move. But I think for 5, we might be able to trade it. Let's give it a shot. But if it doesn't work, it just proves again that you're forcing trades on the weakest of all, right? You want to hunt the strongest of all, or you want to ride the strongest of all, And probably not. It's probably not going to work, but we're going to stay here and out of morbid curiosity and see if this trade works. But as I said, the strongest instruments was Nasdaq. Second strongest was S&P. Dow was by far the weakest to the buy side, right? And we can obviously do the same thing in reverse when we have the strongest to the sell side, strongest to the buy side. Yeah, so the Dow is probably gonna plop out here and die out. Yep. What's our stop here? 59. It's probably gonna take us out. Yeah, just proving, again, the weakest instrument, shittiest trade, not really worth the risk at this point. So what else going on over here? Now I'm actually going to watch the NAS through the red cloud. If the NAS closes through the red cloud as kind of a second turn buy, that's going to be a pretty decent trade for us. I'll take that trade and see if I can make it happen. Because again, NAS is NAS is by far the strongest instrument today. But if we start turning down, then we're really, then pretty much the beginning of the morning is the reversal of all the sell-off, and we consolidate, and then end of the day we figure out if they want to take it up or down. We're definitely trading in a very, very low volatility environment, and all the options dealers are saying that the market they're essentially trying to pin the market around 420.25 to 420.45, like all the way around here. All right, so I have a dip buy in the NAS, which I don't love because it's really, really weak. But let's give it a shot if it holds here. Like I got 30 seconds here because it might be worth a shot to trade it to the upside. But it's clear that the flows have turned to the downside now, and the upside trades are not are nowhere near as attractive as they were. But let's give it a shot. I'm going to give it one more shot, just because NAS is the strongest of all of them. All right, I got in at like what, 49, and I may get stuffed on this. Yeah, I really feel not good on this. Yep. Let's see if I can survive this. So, like, a good way to measure confidence level, let's say it's a 0 to 10 scale, right? And if everything is working in our way, meaning that we have a green 1 hour, we have trend up, short term price is all above, and we're just buying the dips in the short term price. That's on like a 9 or a 10 confidence level, right? And then once the trend slips below, so long term trend is still up, but now the short term trend is slips below. Now this is really a 7 confidence trade, right? Really, really, maybe even 6 to 7 confidence trade. And then if you have like a diversion between the short term and the long term, so the long term is red, and the short term is kind of green, but it's still underneath the moving average, then that's like a 5. I think that's a better way for us to think about it. So like clearly, trades over here where in the 8-10 zone, trades over here are in the 6-7 zone. So this was a 6-7 trade, and you see it came in, and it just died on us. And now it's very likely going to go against us because it wasn't like an 8 or a 10 type of trade. And the thing that to make continuously winning trades, you just want to focus on the 8-10 trades and pass up on everything that isn't at least an 8 on your confidence meter, which means that we do a lot less trades, which is obviously not what I want to do in live trading. But that's what you should do for yourself when you're analyzing the price action, right? So we'll see if we get any kind of a bump here, but my confidence level here is around 6 that this thing recovers. And you can trade accordingly because we're deep into the sell zone, deep into the corrective zone. They took it up and they just took it very sharply down. They couldn't bring it back up. Dow is down. The S&P is kind of flat, and the buyers just don't seem to have a lot of momentum on their side. But they're trying to buy the dip. They're trying to rally. So we're going to stay here. We're going to stay in the trade until the stop. But this is a good example of why why the trade is so weak, because it's not an 8 or a 9 type of trade on a confidence scale. But I think it's a good way for me to give you an assessment every time we're making a trade as to whether I think it's like an 8 or 9, or whether I think it's a 6 or a 7. Yeah, they're dying. I think this is going to be like if it does pop, it'll be a surprise, and it just means that the buyers really, really trying to buy the dip very, very hard here. It still wouldn't have been a great trade because of all the heat this trade took. And if it dies, then it makes perfect sense because it really wasn't a great trade. I think it's going to die. Let me just see what's going on in the S&P for a sec. And the Dow. So interestingly enough, the Dow is kind of stabilizing. How is it looking on the 1 hour charts? Still looks pretty weak on the 1 hour charts. Really looks. Dow's just been very, very quiet around this 34 level. And NAS, I think, just died on us, right? Did it just die on us? Oh, sorry, this is the 1 hour chart. And look at this big reversal on the 1 hour chart. That's a very, very ugly reversal. Where's the, it must have died on us. Yeah, it died. Totally tucked me out. Yeah, and it was, it's a good example of why, this wasn't a strong trade right now. I'm actually kind of just watching the Dow because it seems to be counter trending against the moves, and kind of want to. I'm just going to scalp it a little bit here. I like this big. I like the fact that they bought the bottom here. Maybe it holds, but again, this would be a 6.5 to 7 best at best as far as confidence level, in my opinion. But as I guess as long as I'm at like at 6.5 or 7, I'll take them. And there you go. So I think that's kind of how I got to call them right now. Now I do want to, I'm watching the NAS because if the NAS, if we break above the red cloud here, which is maybe a couple more minutes, we might have a trade because that would be a much stronger confidence trade. The other thing is we have a trend sell signal. Do I think this is a false signal? We could try to play this as a false signal. We can just set ourselves up a little bit here for a false signal and see if it turns into a buy signal on a sell basis. Now let's give it a shot. All right, I front run this number, but let's see if this trend sell is a false signal. I'm about a 7 confidence on this. Watch. I just want to look at the S&P as well. Oh, the S&P. Did the S&P break through the? How come it didn't? That's interesting. Let's try the S&P also. Where's the S&P? Okay, let's try the S&P. I'm a little bit late on the S&P. The S&P broke through, but how come it didn't give me a signal? It's a signal, a trend buy on the Dow. All right, might as well in for the might as well go in all in. Let's see if we can get along the Dow here on the trend buy. This I'm about 7 on this just because the Dow actually looks healthier than all the other ones right now in terms of upside trend. And what are we looking for on the Dow? What do I need? Can't see this. $90. All right, so we're close to the Dow, close on that on the Dow. Let's see if we can make 90. Did the Dow get lifted? I guess the Dow got lifted. Okay, so Dow made it. So I was about 7 on Dow, and Nasdaq made it. And then looks like the S&P is going to make it to, or I'll just close it out for the S&P because that was weak on the S&P. Okay, so the 7 trades made it. The 7 trades kind of made it. So Dow was a trend buy, and actually looks a lot stronger now. If you guys held on to that, you had some nice moves on that. Dow confirmed, sort of the on the short term, it's stabilization on the long term. So on the longer term, it was just all green, red, but it's kind of stabilized and flattened out. So it finally gave you a little bit of a, like a 7 confidence trade on here. On the upside, it gave you a trend buy. The Nasdaq was the strongest of all of them, and we were what was I trading? Oh, I was trading the fake trend sell, which was a dangerous sign, a dangerous trade. And I could have traded it at no, I that was fine. I got what I could out of it. And again, that worked, but it wasn't a great trade. This candle over here is actually a better signal because it broke through the cloud at 50, and it definitely gave you I think, man, no, I wouldn't have given you the full 5 points. So we'd still be floating this for now as a second break. But I still actually like at these levels, I would be like a 7 trade on the Nasdaq because it looks like we bottomed out here, got a little bit of a move here, but it's obviously, you can see the price action into the first hour is far less consistent than it was all morning long. And that's the interesting thing I was going to say to you guys, is that so much of the really true move happens between 7 and 9, and there's a lot of dealer workout from 9:30, 10. In other words, where they try to, unless there's just enormous amount of a demand from institutions and paper and retail, the dealers really try to suppress the price action the other way to take back all of the sells they made in the last 2 hours. But still, like I said, this is not a horrendous trade. It's like a 7 trade if you came in here in the 50s, and it may still work out for you on this one. Fortunately, we kind of held on over here, and it worked out to the upside over here, which is fine. And that's the best we can do today. But if you want to just trade the really, really high probability trades, then obviously all you do is you only trade the turn buys and the dip buys when you're above the 1 minute on the NASDAQ, because the 1 hour on the NASDAQ is super strong to the upside, right? It's been this way since the 4th of June. And all you just needed, even with, I was going to say to you, even yesterday's trades, it looks like the NAS is kind of moving up, back up. If we get up to 55, that 7 trade would have worked again. if you took it. We'll see. I'm actually curious now to see if we can do that. But what I was going to say to you is, yesterday, remember, we had like these huge vicious sell-offs right at the beginning, right in the beginning of the day. But let's go back. Just I want to show you what happened after that the hour, because after that, like from 11 o'clock onward, it was just all buying, and it was really great buying in the move. Watching NASDAQ, because that hits 55, that 7 trade would have been a good trade. 53, 54, 55. There you go. So that's, which I didn't take that trade, but if you took it, that still would have worked, right? It was like I guess the rule of thumb is, unless it's a 7 or better, I'm just not going to call it out, right? Does that make sense, guys? I'm not going to fuck around with anything else. Okay, so yeah, so we had these big sell-offs. This is yesterday where we're getting dip, and then if you just focused on the buys, right? And forget that we'll get rid of the trend buys, just so that you can just see the dip buys and the turn. So turn buy winner, dip buy. Yeah, this dip buy was a winner too, because this came in at, what does it close? 19, and the high over here was 25. Definitely a 5 move here. Oh, this was yesterday. Yeah, right over here. So it wasn't like beautiful, like, but it did turn around. And oh, sorry, let me these, I don't have, these are not proper dip signals. Sorry, it needs to be, let's just make them long only. And you can see that there's more dip signals that would have worked. So dip buy worked, turn buy worked, dip buy worked, a dip buy here worked actually, and a turn buy was the last one that failed. So if you had like 1 1 2 1 3 1 4 1 5 1 6 1, which is exactly, like, that's what I was saying to you, that if you just trusted the fact that it was still a green long-term trade, you were 6 to 1 on a 1 to 2 risk reward ratio, you would have done fine. So it's just sort of like the last thing I wanted to share with you for the day. I think we had kind of a flat day. I didn't keep pace today because I'm just much more curious in classifying the trades. I know some of you guys caught some of the moves with me that are strong. So I think, from now on, I'm just gonna basically literally call my confidence levels before I make the trades, so you guys can decide whether you like them or not. And generally just try not to do anything that's lower than a 7. Here's the trade that I didn't do, but that I called, which was this was the NAS trade right over here, right? And it dipped around, but it ultimately came up to the full 5 points here, no problem. And it wasn't even a the first turn buy was over here, so this was like a second turn buy, but now now it's turning even better. All right, any last questions? Anything else in your mind? Yeah, Jonathan, it's I posted them right up there. It's where's this thing? Private TV. The keyword is private TV ? And it's the fade indicator. That's the one you want. And so you have it. As I said, generally my view is, if I have any kind of discrepancy between the long term and the short term on the trades, then the only trades I want to do is the dip or the turn trades, because the trend trades are always the last ones. They're always the last signal. And look at this finally really turning around nicely. And those have the greatest amount of risk unless you're fully aligned. If it's fully aligned, like it was fully aligned earlier today, all the trend trades worked. But the trend trades only work when everything is fully aligned between the long-term trend and the short-term trend. But when there's any kind of discrepancy, then you just want to turn your attention to the dips and the turns. Okay. All right, guys. Thank you so much. Hope you guys had a good day today and enjoyed it. We'll be back tomorrow. Do the same thing all over again. This week, I think we have the full 4 days, so we get to practice more. As I said, everybody who's lifetime, you're going to get the EA, which works really great. And then those of you who are not, join me in the masterclass or join lifetime. Message me if you have any questions. All right, guys. Thank you so much. Everybody have a great day. I'll see everybody later.